Hey guys, Miguel from Green Barbershop here. We're just going to do a little tutorial of just how to shape up a beard and keep it tidy.
Yeah, she wanna give me the box. Now I ain't talking about U-Haul.
So the first thing that we're probably going to do, or one of the biggest things, is consultate. So what we're going to figure out is we're going to brush out all the beard just to see what we've got existing there, just to see all the lengths and how the shape really sits. And obviously whilst we're doing this, we're just going to see what he wants to do with the beard. So what are we actually doing, Nick?
Just your general touch-up, just lined up and tidied up.
We're just using like a wooden comb. For some reason, we feel like this sort of just glides through the beard a little bit better. But the whole idea is to make sure that we're making it as easy and pleasant for the client as possible, but we want to make sure that we're getting out all those knots. A lot of guys around this area especially don't brush their beard, and when they do come in, when you do trim it up, if you're not brushing it, you will end up having like little bits miss. So we're just going to make sure that we get right in there. So one of the most important bits is this underneath. I feel like a lot of people end up missing this kind of stuff, only because it sort of bundles up into the beard a little bit more. So what I like to do a lot of the time is establish my length first, only because we're trimming it up a little bit. It's easier to sort of shape the beard into it. So I'll just take off a little bit off the bottom and then we can sort of shape it out. But if I was to take off a fair bit, I tend to do the sides first just to give me a bit of a shape and see how it bounces. And then I do the bottom and try and mold it in, but we'll just do this bottom bit first. Cool, so we've got our length established. So we're just gonna fade in the sides a little bit. So I've just got like a number 4 here. I feel like this is a bit forgiving, so it sort of lets me trim up a little bit and just see how everything bounces back, or how the shape sort of builds into the bottom as well. So I'm just going with it and just doing it lightly. Now I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit just to sort of get that shape and fade it into his skin. So I really try not to, when I do like fade this, I just try not to take it anything past the lobe. I feel like the shape of the head sort of curves in a little bit more. So a rule of thumb is usually try and take my spacing anywhere between like the ear. Cool. So we're going to use some of the Parasso pre-shave cream. This will just sort of help soften the skin up and make it a little bit easier for the blade to glide. We're just going to do the hot towel. I'm placing it just underneath it just so we don't mess up the shape too much, just because I want to see how it looks like. And as I'm doing this, I'm just going to get my brush ready as well as the razor. So this is a Parasso shave cream, and obviously this will just help sort of soften everything and make it easier for the blade to glide even better. So I'm just going to shave with the grain. I've already sort of looked at how his hair growth pattern is, so I'm just going to try and do it with it as much as possible, just so we're not going to irritate the skin or anything. We're just going to use like a bit of a cold towel just to sort of soothe the skin a little bit and make it a little bit nicer. So this is just a little bit of Parasso aftershave. This will just close up the pores and make it a little bit easier for him. Just keep your eyes closed. And just sit up for me. And just to make these lines a little bit crispier, they always work a little bit better when it's dry. So we're just gonna come in again and just do this. Alright, so most of the time one of our best sellers is the Boss Man Beard Jelly. Why this is recommended is that it's literally like an oil and a balm mixed together. The benefit of the oil is that it sort of helps moisturize the skin, sort of stop any of that irritation or those beard flakes that some people get, especially when they're first growing the beard. And then it's got balm in it as well to sort of help shape the sides, just so they're not sticking out too much. So when you do use this, just make sure you mix it all up, just so the oil and the balm mix up together. Use about a pea size full. And then make sure it's rubbed all through the hands first, and then we're just gonna get in the beard. So a lot of people just layer it over the top. The whole idea is to try and get it in there as much as possible and into the skin. So we're gonna rub it into the skin just so it gets that moisture in there as well as that oil. And then afterwards, we're just gonna wipe it over the top just to make it sit a little bit better. And then you're just gonna push it into this shape and stuff like that. But this will hydrate it, make it look a little bit fuller just because it coats the beard, but definitely make it sit a lot nicer. But this is definitely one of our best sellers. But the Boss Man Beard Jelly is the main one that I would recommend to most of the general public.